My name is Thao Van Adjemian, and I'm from Belgium. I graduated from UWC Dijon in 2022, and I am now a student at Imperial College London. Today, it is my pleasure to be talking with Mr. Pierre Gurdjian, a UWC Dijon board member. He is now chairman of the board of directors of Solvay, which is a Belgian multinational chemical company established in 1863. And up until the end of 2023, he was the president of the board of directors of the Université Libre de Bruxelles, ULB. Prior to these roles, Pierre was a senior partner at McKinsey and Company during 27 years. Hello, Mr. Gurdjian. It is an honor to meet you. Thank you for your involvement and hard work on behalf of all of us. Will you please tell us a little bit about your professional background?
No, thank you, Thao. I would actually summarize my professional background with the following image, and it's an image. I'm a bit of a triathlon athlete, but not in the physical sense, because I'm completely incapable of doing any sport. But I have been immersed and still am in three different and complementary domains. The private sector, mostly first as a consultant and then as a board member of large industrial companies. Second, in the public sector, mainly through my role at the Free University of Brussels, Université Libre de Bruxelles. And then third, civil society through a whole series of projects and philanthropic platforms to whom I have contributed, amongst them in Armenia and also in Belgium. By the way, I am of Armenian descent, but in Belgium for the last century already.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think you and me have our Belgian and Armenian roots in common.
Indeed.
And I was actually attracted to UWC Dilijan because of my Armenian origin. And this is why I really wanted to connect more with Armenia, I guess. And I just wanted to ask, since you've served on the board since 2015, I wanted to ask what motivated you to serve on the board of UWC Dilijan? What kind of responsibilities do you have? And what impact do you hope your contributions will make to the UWC mission?
Yeah. So I had the privilege of getting to know Dilijan through some extraordinary people who are the founders, Ruben Vadanian and his wife, Veronica Zonabend, with a whole series of other people around them, individuals and families. And I was really attracted by the boldness of the idea to create an international school in Armenia, and not just an international boarding school, but a school that would be dedicated to making the world better and to be able to attract students regardless of their financial means. And so I accepted to join the board in its first year. And since then, I have the pleasure of being on the board. I'm a member of different committees, the nomination and governance committee, the risk committee. I have been on the education committee, but I'm deeply immersed in the dynamics at the level of the board for the last 10 years, including living through the different stages that the school has gone through, including the difficult period around COVID and the geopolitical situation in Armenia, unfortunately. And so I've been living through that and happy to see that the school is emerging very strong from there. And I hope that through my presence on the board, I can contribute to a bright future of the school. I should also mention that between 2015 and 2020, COVID, I probably was physically present in Dilijan 3 or 4 times a year. Unfortunately, with COVID, and since January 2020, I haven't had the opportunity to be back, but I'm planning to be back in 2024 in the context of the 10th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, that sounds very good. Yeah. No, I agree. I was a student during COVID in UWC Dilijan, and at the same time, I still feel like it did not hinder my growth there and everything I learned there. But yeah, um, I wanted to ask specifically because you're involved in education with the Université Libre de Bruxelles. What your views were in education in the future and how that will impact UWC Dilijan and education as a whole.
So that's a very broad question, no? And
Yeah,
I should say that my direct exposure to education is in Europe and in higher education, university
yeah,
level. It's not entirely um,
experience.
the same environment as UWC and school. However, if I take a step back, I think education, the challenge of education, is really about equipping young people with the right mindset to live and to thrive and to lead in the difficult world in which we live, which is going through so many transformations. Every transformation is a big challenge. On the other hand, it's always a great opportunity to create something new. And I think education systems need to evolve to be able to produce not only transmission of knowledge, but also a form of life posture.
Yeah,
Um, at UWC, and particularly in Dilijan, is to helping young people understand and live their life as citizens of the world, wanting to make the world better. At a university in Belgium, it's about equipping um, young adults with the mindset of being responsible citizens, uh, understanding and being immersed in what science is. I think that's very important. The ability to understand what science represents and the objectivity and the truth that lies in the pursuit of scientific knowledge. And then beyond that, being part of a society as a responsible
yeah.
citizen.
Yes,
That's
no, yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's really interesting, especially maybe it is because it's in the stage of life I am right now. But I think the transition of UWC students when they leave UWC and, for example, what values they have gotten from it and what experiences and how they can use it after it. Because,
yes,
of course, it only lasts 2 years. So
yes.
we wanted to make an impact further on. But yeah, so what do you think specifically, or right now, are there any challenges that you think exist in terms of like um, in order to adhere to this mission of UWC for peace and sustainability?
Now we are talking about UWC and Dilijan in
Yeah,
particular.
yeah, yeah. So do you think are challenges or things that, or what goals do you think you would look forward to achieving in the context of UWC?
So I'll mention two things. One is linked to, one refers to UWC as a movement, and then specifically Dilijan. I think UWC as a movement uh, is more relevant today than it has ever been. It was founded in the 1960s in a polarized world, which was essentially a world with polarization between the East and the West. And today we find ourselves again at a moment of intense polarization in the world, east, west, north, south, and take any axis. There is growing tension. And so, therefore, the ability of UWC to actualize, to update, to rekindle the mission towards bridging tensions, relieving tensions, peace, creating peace is of an absolutely key importance in today's world. So there's a bit of a aggiornamento to be done. I think at the level of the movement. Now UWC Dilijan, um, I think the essence of UWC Dilijan, which is very coherent with UWC, is to create space for an intense and maturing life experience of talented young boys and girls, men and women from all over the world. And it's that life experience that counts. Now, within life experience, there's lots of things. There is learning, there is doing, there is interacting, there's being, and it is the intensity and the quality of that life experience that counts. The ever present challenge that we have is to enrich that sense of community and quality of those 2 years. I think we're doing it extraordinarily well, but it's something that merits constant attention, particularly in today's world. And so I hope that we will continue to work on that and to tap into the experience and the energy of people like you who have graduated and whom we believe, we hope will continue to stay connected with what is happening in Dilijan.
Yeah, that sounds. I agree with everything you've been saying. Furthermore, I think this is a little different, but I just wanted to ask about your connection to Armenia. And I know this translates into the work you do, for example, for UWC Dilijan, but are there any other initiatives or things that you would like to do in terms of Armenia?
So I've over the last 20 years and specifically between 2015 and 2020, I have been intensely involved in a number of very important, exciting, and inspiring initiatives in and around Armenia with Ruben Vadanian, with Veronica Zonavans, with Nubar Afeyan, with Andrew Makachan, with Arman Jilavian. I mean, the whole community of people who have created a platform to accelerate or to help Armenia grow into a better country, a better society, despite all the terrible things and the terrible challenge that we have. And so that those projects are in social and economic development, in education and leadership, through, amongst others, Dilijan, through cultural change and evolution, through the Aurora Prize, through innovation with FAST, leadership development with Matena, a whole series of projects that I have tried to contribute to.
That's really great. But yeah, what advice do you think you would have for either current UWC student or incoming students? You
Be there, be fully there, live
think?
it, live the adventure fully,
Yeah,
learn, interact, take maximum opportunity of those moments during those 2 years, who will inspire you for the rest of your life.
I would like to add actually, as a student who left, I feel that um I feel that what you get a lot from it is to trust that you're doing the right thing also, and that your morals are good and will stay good. And in that sense, that after you leave, to be an example to people, because I think it's really easy to be a good person when you're surrounded with other people who have similar values, but it's much harder to keep them when you're in a new environment afterwards to follow through with them.
Yeah,
But
thank
yeah,
you.
no,
Thank
I
you for
really
saying that, though. I think it's
yeah,
immensely important what you're pointing out. And
yeah,
I like the way you express it. Hopefully, the 2 years spent at UWC Dilijan are about helping each of you to find a sense of your own life mission and to
yeah,
have the confidence and the trust that this is the right life to lead. And I use the word right life more than a happy life. I think happy life is
yeah,
okay. Right, I mean, no life can just be utter happiness every day, every moment. There's a lot of struggle as well, but it's leading the right life. And indeed, once you leave UWC, the world is less can be less bright, and
yeah,
therefore it's important to believe and to be confident in living that every day. But you express it very well, Tao. Thank you.
but yeah. No, thank you. But yeah. No, other than this, um, is there is there anything else that you would want to tell us about the school? Or
Yes.
about, yeah.
You know, if I take a step back and I try to reflect on the essence of the school, I think at the heart of it, there's this experiential life journey during 2 years at a moment in life where which is very pivotal because it's between 16 and 18 years old. This is where we start developing our sense of self and our sense of being who we are with agency and will and confidence and also questions, of course, and doubts. So those 2 years are key. And I think it's about knowing, doing, and becoming. I was going to say being, but it's becoming. Knowing because it is about learning things. Doing because it's a lot about also experimenting with different projects and different interactions. And becoming because it has to do with finding one's sense of gravity. So that value proposition, that core of the experience of Dilijan is existing in different complementary contexts. One, of course, there's the community of 200 people, 200 young students with surrounded by teachers and staff in Dilijan. So that's the life with that community. But it's also being part of UWC as a movement which itself is evolving. So UWC, Dilijan can contribute to the evolution of UWC. It's also being part of IB in terms of the curriculum and being part of the evolution of the curriculum. That's also the materialization of the value of this experience in Dilijan. It's also about living and contributing to a small town in a small country in a relatively remote region of the world that is going through very, very, very tough times. And so the value that this community can bring in terms of its energy, in terms of its ideals, in terms of its projects, in terms of its connections to that local community is also of immense importance. And so you have these interlocking realities. There's also the contribution of Dilijan in this portfolio of broader philanthropic projects that are happening in Armenia. You know, Idea Foundation, FAST, Aurora, Future Armenian, Matena, Ameria. Dilijan fits in that ecosystem. That's also a place for students to be able to deploy their energy. So it's very multifaceted. It's not just going to a college that happens to be a remote region of the world, beautiful region, but remote. It's about leading a particular type of life in different environments with different facets, and all of these facets deeply, deeply matter.
Yes, no, I agree. There are, I mean, like you were saying, interconnecting realities, and yeah, and this is very inspiring for me too. Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. Gurdjian, for your insights, and I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope I have a chance to meet you in person.
I really hope so, and thank you very much
Yeah.
for the interview and also for the great insights that you shared. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye bye.